Dude, so
That
I can put my contacts in and out in
okay?
like 15 tries now. I'm
That's
I'm
not
starting
bad.
to kick ass.
It's not bad.
It's
15.
so much different. Like I've been living my life through like bars for like
Oh,
six
it's
years
so
now.
much better with the
Holy
contacts.
God.
You
Like
feel like a real person.
yeah, like I don't feel like disabled, right? Like
Right.
driving, I'm good to go. Like my peripherals kick ass. I'm just a
That was the
monster.
biggest thing. Like driving with the glasses, like you're trying to look one way, and like you gotta like move your whole head. You gotta like,
Yeah,
no,
dude, it's such a
no.
bitch.
There's a time for that.
Yeah.
It's not now.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gandhi's Thoughts. I am Gandhi, and I have a very special guest, Matthew Morello. He's
Oh,
back, and we are here to discuss team changes. But before we do that, Matt, how are you,
yeah.
sir? How goes things?
Things go. That's how they're going. Christmas Eve. I hope you're having a good Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas holiday going on. What are you doing for the holiday?
To be honest, not doing a damn thing. We're just immediate
Yeah.
families here, brothers with the baby. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's,
how we do.
we're not big on the whole like huge family outings. We're more like, let's have our immediate family. Like this is already enough as it is, right?
Right.
Like we don't want to bring everyone else in because that's when you get all the drama, and
Yeah.
I'm not ruining my Christmas.
That's when you get like weird relatives sleeping on your couch and like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
that's
good.
uh-huh. All right. So Matt, look,
Yeah,
we didn't even discuss this before we went live, so it's
yeah,
perfect. This is what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna
okay,
give you the option. Okay,
okay.
we can either talk about team changes as a whole, and then
Hmm.
do a little bit of coverage about like John leaving and stuff like that.
Okay.
Or we can debate on the fact on where we stand with team changes
Team change, how we stand on each individual team change or team changes as a whole.
as a whole, because that seems to be like the big
Yeah.
thing right now, right? Because everyone's kind of sitting there and they go, I don't know if team changes should be allowed because sponsors aren't intrigued in it,
Uh,
but at the same time, right? Like their
it's a
salaries dependent on winning, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna give you
exactly.
the option. You
I
can
think we
take your
can talk
pick.
about team changes as a whole, and I think really it just comes down to just better responsibility for the teams to pick up better players. Just don't pick up players that suck.
Well, what do you contribute that to? Because for me, I'm sitting here
Hmm.
and I say a lot of players just end up going back to their comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you avoid that, or can you avoid that?
I think you really have to. I think a lot of what we see in Call of Duty is that these players they like to team with their friends. It's not necessarily the best fit for them player wise, best fit for them organizational wise. They just kind of gravitate towards their homies, and
Well, what team are you specifically thinking
I
of?
mean, there's a whole lot of them. I mean, you see like the same kind of like duos and trios like teaming up. Uh, I mean, Parasite and Killa and Miracles. I mean, they've had success though as a three, so I wouldn't say that's like an awful fit for any of them. But I mean, it keeps kind of like breaking up, and then
Hmm.
I mean, you pretty much see like everybody. Like you'll see somebody like they'll be on a team with a certain group of players. They'll say it doesn't work. They'll go to the next event with a different group of players. That doesn't work, and then they'll go back to the first group and try again. Doesn't work.
I just don't. I guess for me, with like the whole like Call of Duty thing,
Yeah.
for like Halo, it was a little bit different, right? Like
Right.
you would normally see like trios stick together, but a trio would stick together for I'm talking like 2 3 years.
2 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it'd be like similar with like Aches and Teep, kind of a duo. Like you kind of see
Right.
them together for like the longevity of things. But for this game, it seems like people just kind of act on impulse.
Oh,
Like there
absolutely.
is no. Do you understand as to why a team? The event's in what, a week,
Yeah,
basically?
it's like a week and a half, basically.
And
Yeah.
we had John just get up and leave from Curse Las Vegas, and Denial's just like, ah, fuck it, we'll pick him up. Have
Just
you ever
drop another
seen?
guy. Like,
Does that make any sense to you?
uh, not really. I mean, this close to an event, I mean, you might as well just stick it out and go with what you have. But I mean, that's what Call of Duty's kind of is. I mean, I kind of learned that when I first came into the community that you don't really get too much of a try with a team. It's kind of like a if it doesn't work within like a week, like evidently it doesn't work at all. Then it's just everyone moving on. But I mean, like you said, I mean, throughout all the games I've played, I mean, I've had like at least like one or two teammates that I stayed with throughout the entire time of the game, and you just kind of just fill in just parts and pieces after that. But I mean, this is something like I've never seen. I mean, it's just kind of like it's like just break up everybody, like everybody go. It's madness, to be honest.
It's really tough to keep up with too.
Oh,
like if it wasn't for like Call of Duty being solely based on like Twitter, because everyone's like, oh, you post on the COD Reddit, and I'm like,
No.
Number one, I don't get down with Reddit, but number two, whatever, right? But if it wasn't for that, like we would be lost.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know what the hell to do.
No, nobody would have any idea. Who would have any idea? Like, I mean, even now we turn on. I mean, Aches or Teep or Krim or Karma will turn their stream on. They'll be like, "Wait, where's Clay?" It's like, dude, like it's like 2 weeks ago, man. Like you're in the past. They're like, they don't get it. Like they just don't understand like what's going on. It's so crazy that they have no idea who's on what teams, and that's why I think you see like a team like that's probably why Optic is honestly the biggest team. I mean, they've kept 3 of their guys for a fairly long time now. I mean, Scump, Big T, and Nate. I mean, that 4th guy has kind of just been a merry-go-round of just whoever's going to be there. But
I mean, what's scary is that I'm not sure if Optic's ever going to have a constant 4th, right? Like, I think it's getting to the point now where it's almost like you're like, and obviously, like I don't know much about the inner workings of Optic, and I'm sure you know just a little bit about it, just because
I don't know much.
We don't the only reason we have the information we do have is because we're friends with everyone else. Like Optic doesn't go to like all the crazy events where it's like a little bit local, like maybe like a UMG Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
To where they can just like sit there and hang out with. They're finally going to a UMG now, but so like for me, like outside looking in, it's almost like, okay, so Nade's shot is 100% rooted in there no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. And he's playing fine now, right? Like ever since
he's been playing
since like Gfinity 2, like Nade shot's been doing well. Before it was kind of like, oh, is he does he suck, right? And everyone was kind of asking that. But, so then you got Scump, and then you guys like kind of messed around with Scump a little bit there. You guys kind of prodded at it, and then you have Big T. And they're all huge, but I feel like there just needs to be like a 4th who they're comfortable with, and they want to turn into like kind of a personality. Like they tried with JCap, but JCap was just like, fuck. They just wanted a name.
That just didn't work. Yeah,
I think it feels like they just wanted a name, which is why I'm kind of interested in Ricky. What do you think about the squad? You've casted them enough.
Yeah, I actually, they had Saints during the 2K, so I saw them during the 2K, but I mean, they looked pretty good. I mean, Ricky's definitely the type of player they kind of needed. Somebody. See, I kind of disagree. I don't think they need to build another personality. I think they're strong enough with those 3 that they can get somebody who's just solely focused on game, not really interested in kind of entertaining. Because I think, I don't know. I think if I was a player going into that situation, I don't know how much I would like it, just because you're kind of almost the odd man out by default.
Yeah.
It's
true.
You're kind of the odd one out by default, but I mean,
look at Flame too. Look at Flamesword, the coach.
Yeah.
I mean, like he got some love at first, and then it's kind of like, oh, where the hell is Flames? Like, what the hell is he doing?
I think he'll move into the house. I think that's the plan with that. I think that's the plan.
That's good for him. It'll be interesting for him.
No, yeah, I mean that should definitely. I mean, it'll be good for them and him. I think though that Ricky was a good pickup.
You think so?
Ricky was a good pickup.
You think he was a good pickup?
Yeah, he's a strong player. I mean, he's really good on search, which is what they needed a little bit more guidance on. And then also he's pretty good communicator in game. And I mean, I saw during the 2K that they were down for a little bit, and he was just trying to like get them going again. I mean, Scump can be pretty up and down, just mood wise, So I think it was a good addition. But it'll. I mean, who knows how? If they don't do good in Philly, who knows how? Who knows what happens? Philly.
At least for Philly, there's. I guess we can talk about this too. At least for Philly, there's kind of like a security blanket there for the pro teams, right? Because the top 16, the bare minimum they can get is top 16. You've seen this, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, how it works for those of you at home, So the top 12 seeds are locked in, and the bare minimum they can get is top 16.
16, yeah.
All right, and so then what happens is teams are going to go through the open bracket where they're only playing the best of 3, which is like, holy shit, that is wild, right?
Especially with a blitz, man. I think that best of 3 with blitz is just absolutely mind blowing. But that's another thing.
So. What happens is the two teams who make it through the entire winners bracket are going to get their spots into the champ bracket. And so then basically take those 2 teams and throw them out, and then you got the entire losers bracket. So the teams who would essentially be in like the losers semis, which would be playing for the winner or the losers finals, those 2 teams will then be advancing in the champ bracket. Dude, the best of 3, bro.
Dude, yeah. I think best of 3 works, but definitely with no blitz.
But then what do you do? What do you do? Search, dom, search?
I would do a search, dom, search, best of 3.
But the only problem is then it's like...
But then it kind of like ruins your flow of like a best of 5 too. Like, do you use your best of 5 change after that? But I think you can keep it pretty much...
Well, that's kind of what they did in Halo. They in open bracket they used to do Team Slayer, Capture the Flag, Team Slayer, which is different, right? And obviously people wanted like an objective in there. So instead of not having Blitz, we would rather have Blitz because Blitz would be like our king of the hill, right? Your hard point, which is something you guys just want. You want to have that,
right? But
I guess in this game, dude, like
well, the issue becomes that the Blitz is probably the most fun for the viewer to watch.
Yeah, but how many games? I don't think many games of open are going to be on stream. I mean, obviously you got you have your community stream, right? But like how it's working is so Friday, you're doing your normal matches. You're doing your 5 versus 12, 6 versus 11, 7 versus 10.
Do you think we would play on Friday?
No, you guys are going to be playing on Saturday.
Oh, so we don't have a match at all on Friday.
You guys don't play until probably like 1:30.
I would say like probably we don't play till probably like 2 or 3 on Saturday. Probably.
Yeah, like 1:30, 2 to 3. Yeah.
Because they got to get through the whole open before they get a team.
That's another thing that's tough for UMG, right? Because they didn't have the same bracket system as MLG has because MLG was a little bit slow getting that over there because they had to work out the contract stuff now.
Yeah.
But like when it's gonna be tough. Like those, I feel bad for a lot of people in open because they are going to be grinding.
Dude,
Friday through Saturday is gonna be insane.
You know, it's actually kind of funny. How many times have you? This is like really crazy because when I teamed with Tuger, we were just trying to figure it out. We went to Dallas for Black Ops 2, and we had to play through open. And there was a point where I sat next to Tom, and I was like, this is only the second time I've played through open since 2006. Like I've never my first event I played in open. I never played another open after that until Dallas this year, and I was like, this sucks,
dude.
I was like, this sucks.
The last time I did it,
I was like, I've only played through open once. I was like, this is awful.
Yeah. The one time I did it was 2008, and so what MLG did for the 8th spot in nationals was they basically made a complete open bracket and you had to play for the 8th spot. Our first match is like winners bracket, like round 4, right?
Yeah.
Get fucking stomped, right? Like I'm saying, they came out way too hot. We were on split screen, just way too hot. We got steamrolled, and then we ended up coming back and getting the 8th spot. But it was like, dude, that open bracket's insane. Dude, there's times where you're just not eating. Like you can erase the fact of food. Like that's gone. There's no chance.
I mean, I would say Dallas, we started early in the morning, and like we didn't walk out of that venue till like 9:30, and I was like, I'd rather be out than fucking play through that again. I'd rather just not do it.
It's tough.
It's awful.
I always feel bad for like the coaches too. Because did you coach on a side station? Oh no, you were always on main stage. I coached at a fucking side station, dude. And
how's that?
Oh, it's insane, dude. It's like there's no words that even can describe it because your back is against like fans, right? And
pretty much.
If you're going against the team, or if you're Curse Las Vegas and you have Nameless on the team because like everyone for whatever reason hates him because he's cocky, right? Yeah. They don't give him the benefit of the doubt. They're just like, fuck it. Fuck Curse Las Vegas. We're rooting for the other team. So if you're lucky and the fans are behind you, you can be like high-fiving. You're having a good time. But like, so for like against you guys as well, like you're fucked. But if they're against you, dude, it's just like right in your ear. And I'm just like, man, I want to turn around and devour you guys. Yeah, but it's going to be tough, dude, because
it is.
I feel so bad for Final Boss, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, Walt, tell me about Final Boss, man. Are they been coming
looking good.
In hot?
I'm really happy for those guys too, you know. I mean, they've been putting in a ton of work, and they've been looking good. I mean, they split games at TK pretty much the other night. They were like tied through a lot of them. I mean, I think they lost the replays, but you know, they were all pretty close games. They're picking it up.
Are you kind of helping them through this transition?
Maybe.
At all? A little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, at least some guidance, you know what I mean? Because Tom's a boy. Just wondering.
No, and I mean, I speak to Tom pretty often, so you know, and he'll let me know how they did some days. Then I'll ask like what they had to work on, and like, you know, we'll just like throw ideas off each other and stuff. And I mean, they're good guys. I want to help them out.
Yeah, let me tell you what I saw them run on Sovereign Domination. I always say Domination. I know.
Domination.
I'm just retarded. On Sovereign Dom, they ran 3 ARs.
Yeah.
And it shredded.
They're
shredded.
Like I feel like naturally they're more ARs than I mean, you even when we play. I mean, probably an AR feels a lot better than a sub coming over from Halo.
It does. It really does. But I mean you gotta. I think it's all situational. I think I think the scenario I saw was they had C, and they were locking down green side, and they already grabbed B, and then they just rotated an AR like by their caution, like to watch underground, so they didn't get the flank and just bottom control and green, and they just were shredding. It's an interesting idea because then you get another guy and you can kind of roam him around in
those hallways are so long, man. You could do it.
I wonder if it's gonna stick or how it's gonna work on land, right? Because the MTAR, it can get a little rangy on land.
Yeah, it can. I mean, you do see a lot of players that they're switching over to like the Bison and
what is with that?
See, the Bison shreds.
I don't like the way it shoots. It's
up close. It like shreds.
It's like clunky for me.
Really?
What are the attachments they're running on the Bison?
Flash suppressor. And what's the other one? It's not grip. I'm trying to think.
It's not the brake, is it?
Nah, because you can't run brake and flash suppressor. So it probably is the grip then.
It's got to be the grip.
Yeah, it's got to be the grip or extended mag. That's what you see a lot of people use on it too. I think extended mag gives it like 54 bullets instead of 32.
It's going to be interesting to see at Philly because in Columbus, everyone's just kind of like in their comfort zone, right?
Right.
And the innovative ones are always going to be the best in every game. Everyone knows that. That's just the nature of it. And if you can, as long as you're good too, you can't like suck and try to be innovative.
No, yeah.
Because then you just lose all your battles.
Then you just look awful, yeah.
But it's going to be interesting, dude. How's everything going in fucking Complexity Land? Are you guys just devouring? I know there was like a 4-day spree with a tournament where you guys didn't lose a map.
Yeah, we were pretty good. Last week, you know, we were just running through everybody. I mean, we won the 2K. We dropped 2 maps the entire time. And then this week's 2K was a little different because everybody was like traveling, trying to get home, you know?
Yeah.
So Damon was playing on a games console on Wi-Fi in his house in Canada. Teep's lagging on his West Coast, so obviously it wasn't that good. I mean, we weren't planning on it to be that good, but you know, otherwise everything's looking pretty good, man. We're pretty psyched for Philly. I think everyone's pretty psyched for Philly at this point.
Is the switch of Karma coming in now? Do you remember Clay at this point? Like, has it been that easy of a transition?
It's been really easy, and I think everyone's in a much better just mood and just they're happier. So
no regrets from you on the entire team side.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
you
no,
guys,
no.
I always wanted to know, and I can't ask obviously until after Philly, and even if you lose or like get second or whatever it is, because you know it's going to take time to get used to the team. But granted, everyone else made a team change, but
right,
you know, it's still good to know, because I know you don't give me like a straight answer. If you would be like, we thought we were going to get better at blitz and somehow we didn't. But that's not the case. I just wanted to see if everything was gravy.
No, I mean we've been pretty much dominating on blitz,
which is dumb.
Just to put that out there, the game mode's dumb. But
just.
I mean, Dom, we've been winning. Dom, we've been winning more consistently, and then I mean, Search. I mean, Karma brings those big plays that just not really anybody else can do. Yeah. I mean, he makes these he ride the robot, and he jump behind and kill 3 people. I mean, that stuff you just can't account for as a team. So I mean, he's been amazing. He's a hilarious guy too.
Yeah. So now. I got some questions that I have to ask, and I know what it's like, but this is the Mr. X show, right? After the last video, basically, one of the majority of the questions I got is they wanted to know what is the normal day for you in regards of scrimming. What do you do? Do you always sit in on scrims? Are you writing down strats from other teams? All that bullshit.
Right. Most of the time, I'm just stealing strats.
Yeah, I figured. I figured that was the main thing you wanted to do was steal strats.
Yeah. I mean, when we scrim online, I mean, there are some times where I just won't be there, but that's kind of done on purpose because sometimes I'm lent too much upon as a crush to, I don't have to call it out because Matt will just say it, So we try and break that habit a little bit. And then a lot of the times I'll be either just in the Skype chat and I'll be watching on Twitch or... I mean, I'm always watching. I'm always there somehow. I mean, last night we played Envy and on Blitz, and they've always given us trouble on Octane on Blitz. And I wrote in the group chat, I think it was in all caps, I was like, if you guys let Rambo go mid-street, I will punch you all in the mouth when I see you in Philly. And the middle of the map. And Krim watched it the entire time, and he killed Ray maybe 7 or 8 times trying to run mid-map. And he was like, oh, that's where he was going the entire time. I was like, yeah. It's he was just running straight.
Stealer! Thief!
I mean, we just put in the work. I mean, me and Krim, I'll watch streams all night. Krim will watch them all night. I mean, we just try and... That's the thing with our team that's a little bit different is we don't have set classes.
Yeah.
We make classes for specific teams. Every game we sit down to play on LAN, I mean, we look at the team across from us and we make classes that just kind of throw them off. They don't really... Yeah. Because everyone pretty much just makes the same standard classes, and it's you're wasting them if the other... there's no reason for you to run Blast Shield if I don't run grenades.
Yeah.
Exactly. We just make the most use of the information and just knowing what we got.
That's good. All right, Matthew. Now the final question here.
Yeah.
Because this is the one I spilled water everywhere, so I was just rubbing it into the wood because that's
right.
That's what you're logically supposed
to do. That's what you do when you spill
you just smear it in there. Just get it in there nice and deep
yeah. Cleans it up real nice.
So the whole team change thing overall, okay? Where do you stand on it? And are you pro players get to make their decisions for teams, or are you against that? We're at that hump, man. We're at the hump.
Yeah, we are. I think that the organizations need to take a little more, I guess the word would be interest in their team, and just really learn about the community and the players and just who would fit which role, because sometimes you'll pick up a player like we were talking before just based on a name or a following, or somebody want to join based on just a name or a following.
Gives a shit about a following these days.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about a following. I mean, I love my following, but
yeah, I mean, I put it this way: if
I wouldn't join a team,
if my placement determined my income,
right? That's how I was too.
Going for a following.
Yeah, that's how I was too. I mean, I teamed with the players who fit my play style the best and were going to give me the best chance to win, because if I didn't win, I didn't make money, and if I didn't make money, I wouldn't do it. I think now everyone, a lot of these teams, they have full rides, so it's kind of like, oh, like, you fuck it. I'll just hang out with my boys. Like,
which makes it nice on you guys too. Which makes it really nice on Complexity.
Like, you remember, like I would go to events and there would be players that, like, I just absolutely hated their guts. I still don't like them. Yeah.
No, I don't like T-Squared to this day.
I don't like a lot of players that I played against.
It's awesome.
I would not team with them. Some of them were pretty good. I would never team with them just because I hated them. And you know what? I like, all these guys are so, like, friendly with each other. I hate it.
Well, that's the thing Sharp and I were talking about the other day on Twitter. I said, the worst thing about this community is that you guys have an illusion of friendship, though, right?
That's the thing, yeah.
Because it's like this big episode. It's like a shitty version of Game of Thrones, this Call of Duty community, right? Because like really everyone's plotting. I feel like everyone's plotting like for the next tournament to just like make team changes, and we know what the big next tournament is. It's fucking COD Champs. This is where everyone just goes, okay, you know what? Fuck everyone. I'm looking out for myself here. Yeah. What's the best team I can possibly make? So Philly right now, like, it sucks because so Philly's supposed to be this. It's gonna be a great event, right? I don't want to do it a disservice ever, but when you look at it, like, these players, people wouldn't be making team changes 7 days before COD Champs. I don't even think they're allowed to do that anyways.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting here and I'm like, listen, I know you guys are just plotting this. Like, when I look at, like, FaZe right now, when I look at this FaZe roster, I'm just like,
just a placeholder team.
Why? Who the hell gives a shit about this team, right? And, like, I don't mean to be a dick about it, but if I'm going into a tournament, like, if I was coaching Curse Las Vegas and not casting, I would say don't even fucking look at FaZe. Don't even look at them. Who cares? I mean, don't overlook them, but, like,
they have a good team.
JCap and Methods both got top 16, right?
Yeah. Classic's pretty good.
What did FaZe get? Top 16?
Think so.
And they dropped their coach Hilton yesterday, which I don't think is that big of a deal. A lot of people, he's a good dude, but like he's not like, okay. I'm not gonna be on a high horse here and put myself above other coaches, but like there's some coaches like yourself who contribute a lot more than just let's go. Let's go, right? Like, I've listened to listening with him. Like, there's very little communication. There's no who's working with who. There's no keeping track of who's dead. Like, those are little fucking things that need to be done.
Yeah.
So, like, I really don't think that's a big deal. But, like, it's just a placeholder team, man. Like,
though, like, it's crazy. It's just mind blowing because I mean, you can say like, let's say like we go into Philly, right, and we win Philly. Like, every other team hits the reset button pretty much, right?
Yeah.
It's scary.
Well, the thing that's worse too is that you have a couple dark horses that can come straight up through the open bracket as well. You got Fear. Shit. You lagged out. Or you're lagging. What? You're
no.
Good. Yep, you're good. You got Fear, who slapped Curse Las Vegas in the pro scrim.
Yeah, they did.
Slapped. Formal and Dito just destroying everything in their sight. Especially Dito, who's like a top 10 player right now in this game.
He's very good.
He's very, very good. You got Final Boss who can maybe do it. And then you got teams like SB and Justice who are just going to be kind of like creeping around that people just look over just because they can.
Yeah, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be a scary event. There's gonna be a ton of upsets in Philly. I can say that.
There has to be. There has to be.
Oh yeah.
And there will be because the majority of the matches are going to be played on the featured stations or the stations on the side, just like it was at Columbus, right?
Oh, and then that crowd comes into effect, because you're so close.
Yeah, but they did announce that they do have soundproof headphones for main stage. Which is cool. Oh my god, your face looks ridiculous right there.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. You were like, yeah, we do, and then you just kind of went
okay, well, what I said, since you didn't hear it, we do have soundproof headphones at UMG. So that's, if it wasn't for that, you guys were there was going to be blood everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been bad. I think it's still going to be bad.
I like it with no soundproof headphones, though, just
too.
because I'm a psycho.
Yeah, I like that too. I prefer like when
that's how like LAN is supposed to be, man.
Well, but you know what? I've had the same talk with a lot of people, and they go, "What is the reasoning behind the soundproof headphones? Like, why do we have to have caster audio in, right? Like, because football games, hockey games, basketball games, like when you go to a game, you don't get caster audio." And I said, "Well, here's the thing. The big thing with the caster audio is that a lot of the personalities that are casters, people kind of want to go there to listen to them too, right? Like it's different. Like people in like the gaming community get attached to their personalities, whereas at home, like no one's going to go to a football game just because John Gruden's casting the son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
No, you'll watch Monday Night Football because of it, or you'll watch like two shitty teams duke it out. You'll watch like the Redskins play fucking Detroit.
Right, the caster's just an addition at that point.
Yeah, caster's just an addition. But like, it's a big part in the esports scene, so that's it. But it sucks, I do agree. Like I wish. What did you think of the soundproof booths? Did you like that better than the headphones? No,
I've been in the soundproof booths a few times, and I mean they're cool. There's some like tricks around them, like I figured out early that like okay, it gets like really cold in those because they have to push out like white noise into it to keep it soundproof. So, like, I mean, there were teams getting into it at Full Sail, and they were like freezing in the booth. Like, I mean, they were like really cold, and it was really simple. I mean, I learned it. I think I played in a soundproof booth like a few times when I was like 20, like a few years ago. I just had my book bag just block the AC vent.
You're such a scumbag, dude.
And then, I mean, it's just like room temperature at that point. Like, it's little things like that.
Yeah, well, when you put that book bag there, does it cancel? Can you still hear anything or no?
What do you mean? Oh, no, you still can't hear anything.
It's blocking the AC.
It just blocks the AC vent,
now,
so
when you're
the white noise comes through the top.
When you're in there, I mean, you guys look like fucking caged animals, and that's what I was afraid of at Columbus. Like, if there was soundproof booths, like, I look like animals, right?
Yeah.
Do you prefer that over the soundproof headphones? Like, alleviating everything.
I like to hear the crowd, personally, just because, I mean, it doesn't really bother me whether they're cheering for or against us, but I just like the crowd. It, like, helps you, like, kind of, like, get alive and just stay up. But, I mean, the soundproof booth is definitely interesting. I mean, you look out and you're like, they're rooting for us, they're rooting for them. I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Well, at least when you were playing against Optic, you knew who they were rooting for,
we knew who they were rooting for.
You're like,
there was no mistake there.
You were like, well, we won the game. Scumpy, I guess, went outside to take a piss. That's why they're cheering. Move forward.
The funniest part of that whole thing is when we came back against them on Search and Destroy, and we won. I mean, you watch the video, like me, like an Aches and Teep were like hugging, like broing it out, whatever. And Krim immediately makes a beeline out of the soundproof booth because the door was to his left. There's a door to my right and a door directly to Krim's left. He beelines out the door. And he thinks that the fans in the front row are gonna like give him high fives, like they were like going nuts, but they were just cheering for Optic. So he gets out of there, and he runs by the front row, and he's got like his hand like up like a little bit, and nobody's like reaching out. And then that's like he like ran over to their booth and just to like shake hands. Like it looked like so weird. They were like, why is he directly over here right now? Like 2 seconds after the game ended.
Right. Oh my god, what a loser, man.
It was so crazy to that event though. Like even after we won, they were like giving us the trophy and they're chanting for like Optic, they're chanting for Nate Shot. We were like, what the hell?
Dude, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Shit's real, man. That Optic shit's real.
It is. It's super fucking real, man. The power of their following's insane.
Yeah. They're travelers too, those followers too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like they make a fucking team change and they're trending.
Yeah.
That's bonkers, dude.
We trended too for the first time with a team change. That was kind of cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, Karma trended, yeah.
That's actually cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, that was really talked about though too, man. Like, because a lot of people who didn't know the inner workings were probably just like, excuse me.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is what I got into aches with the other day. I was saying how like big organizations are going to continue to fail until there's general managers who actually know a shit about the game their team,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
like their team who they sponsor is playing. And he goes, no, I think it needs to be on the players with harder contracts, okay? And, like, I guess, like, Aikes' main point was essentially... Because Aikes is on the world's shittiest sleeping schedule, so I'm just going to speak for him.
No, he's, yeah.
His main point was that if it was harder for his team to acquire Karma, they would have probably been a little bit more put off on it. But since they didn't have any contracts to work around, it was easy for you guys to grab them. And I said, well, in the same sense, if there was a general manager, like, if you were the general manager, and they came to you and they said, look, we're not happy with Clay, like, this isn't going to go well, you would probably debate it for a bit, and then you would say, okay, Shaq and Kobe, like we talked about in the last video, right?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, okay, we'll get rid of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll see if we can acquire someone. And I think that's exactly what it has to be, because the players don't know what's best for them. 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10, they don't.
They don't. And that's why I think, like, a lot of these team changes, right? Like, would you have let Tosh go and kept Nameless?
I would not have let Tosh go.
I wouldn't have let Tosh go.
I don't think I would have let Tosh go.
Tosh he's too much of a, what was that, a hair?
I think Tosh would have fit that team well, too.
I got a hair in my mouth.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I
can't get it.
Ew.
I'm dying, dude. This is terrible. It's disgusting. Anyways.
Get it out.
I can't. I'm just gonna drink water and try to drink it.
Drink it? Ew.
Oh yeah. There it is.
I would have kept Tosh.
I think I would have kept Tosh too. And I was fine with Tosh. I think, and the reason why I would keep Tosh is because, dude, he's been playing domination since fucking 7 years ago.
And also, I mean, you like to bring up Pat's point again. I mean, if Gunjar was under some kind of contract agreement, I mean, that doesn't happen, you know?
Yeah,
he just doesn't up and leave, and then now TK's in like a world of mess, you know?
Yeah, I think TK is like slowly getting used to like Clay.
Yeah.
At least from like what I could tell, because you know, Neslo, like Sharp's a guy who really just he's there to grind, like yeah, he's gonna be intense, but he's a fucking goofball, right? Like he's a goofy dude.
He's a great guy.
And like Theory's a grinder, and like Neslo's a grinder, right? Like they're used to like casually, well, I don't know, but like when I look at their team dynamic with Gunjar, like Gunjar's a very soft-spoken guy, right? Like they're used to like going over things, not like what the fuck just happened? Are you shitting me? Who the fuck doesn't have top control?
No, yeah,
right? Like
I've watched them play a few times.
Not used to that.
No, they are not.
Not used to that. So I think once they kind of got used to that, things would get a little bit better. But it's still, you know, it's tough when you go from someone who's quiet to someone who's just gonna scream at you when you do something that's wrong.
Yeah, I was watching them play last night, and like halfway through, Neslo was just like, "Dude, like I can't hear anything. Like, stop screaming. Like, you know, like they're just not used to it."
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting how that works on LAN, though, because I mean, Clay's really loud on LAN. I mean, if you can't hear your teammates on LAN, that's pretty much an issue.
Yeah, that's it's
a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, turn it up, man. Well, you know, when are players like? I went back and I watched like Columbus VOD, and and I was sitting there and I was watching so many players, and like even on Curse Las Vegas and like other teams, like players were using like iPod fucking headphones. And I was just like, what? Like Parasite at least had like I think he had like Sennheiser's like noise canceling sound blasters essentially in his ear. Okay? And you click it on and you can't hear anything. And then he has that over on top of like then he has a soundproof on top of it as well.
Right.
But dude, like he was hearing everything. And like I went from like Miracles, who was basically using like iPod headphones, to those, and like, oh wow, it's like I'm playing with my actual mix amp all of a sudden at home. When are players gonna start fucking buying these things? Like, it's a part of the game now.
Then don't buy them. Don't buy them.
Like, what do you guys use? You guys use the sound blasters, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we wear the soundproof headphones, I mean, the sound blasters go around the neck for the mic, and then me and Aches both have Beats. So does Karma. Crim has the same Sennheisers that Parasite, I think, has.
Do you like the Beats for the inside? Is that an over the ear?
Yeah,
Because I had
actually
earbuds.
have
I had those Call of Duty earbud ones. You know what I'm talking about? From,
Yeah.
like, I guess COD Champs. Sucks. Hated them. Oh, it goes over. That's nice.
Yeah.
When do those run? I kind of like those.
I think they were
120?
125, 120.
That's worth the investment.
And it's got, I mean, to be like a lot of the times, like it has this mic right here, and this mic will actually get picked up on the mix amp,
That's nice.
so you can talk to people and wear these. But dude, these things pick up everything. I mean, footsteps, sounds, and it's all directional too. So it's kind of like we're wearing a headset.
Yeah.
A lot of people just show it with the iPod headphones and
Dude,
like, oh, I can hear my teammates now, but you can't hear anything in the game.
Especially in this game where you're basically like Optimus Prime running through Manhattan.
It's absurd. It's absurd.
Well, Matt, I know we have Christmas shenanigans to do.
Yes.
I know holidays for.
I didn't even realize what time it is.
Yeah, it is. I was monitoring for you.
Yeah.
So I'll let you close out, Matt. Do you have any shout outs, opinions, questions, comments, concerns? Now
shout out to everybody. It's Christmas. I mean, happy holidays. We don't do anything before New Year's. Happy New Year's. Shout out to the team, Karma, Crim, Teep, and Aches. Shout out to Complexity. Shout out to you, Scott.
Hanging out, baby.
Hanging out. I don't see your face on camera, but you know, this little generic Skype picture. You got a great flannel shirt on.
Oh, it is a good flannel.
You got the the neck pose going. Yeah, the pose going. So I hope you look a lot like that.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm in a gray shirt, but yeah, it's okay.
Kind of like that. So.
It's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But all right, Matt. I love you, but I don't love you. You take it easy. Love that line. It's my favorite line in the world.